Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, this is the Avios Grand Tundra version 2. We're gonna take this up in this crazy wind. Gabriel, pan towards the flags, again the windsock, and you can get an idea of how windy it is. And obviously you can see my shirt. Got a 3600 Turnigy 6S in there that Hobby King has sent out to me. I put my timer back at 6.5 minutes because of smaller battery, and I pulled it forward about 1/4 of an inch, and she still CGs really well. Interesting enough, with no battery in the plane, she CGs perfect also. So that's really good. That's indicative of a good design plane. So, all right, I didn't clean her off from this morning because the wind has just cleaned her off naturally. Right, left, up, down, right, left. In the man cave after the flights, well, I'll go over everything and that'll cover everything. I haven't changed anything since the maiden. So, wind, I'm pointing the plane right at the wind right now. Nice scale takeoff. I mean, vertical for days. You'll lose sight of her before you lose power. She just wants to keep going. Can definitely tell I got a lighter battery in there. But it's a 3600 Turnigy. It's a fairly light battery, so it would be the equivalent of the weight of probably a 4,000 to 5,000 4S. And
time remaining 6 minutes.
Probably a 5,000 4S. So this is how that would feel, minus the prop, of course. If you want to fly on 4S, which you have to get the prop for. All right, look out, birds. Look out, birds. They're thinking, that's the devil. It's flying without flapping its wings. That's the devil. Definitely more than capable. Very little elevator pressure needed to maintain inverted. That's a nice way to drop altitude, isn't it?
Time remaining 5 minutes.
It's a very light plane. Very light plane. Look how slow it's coming into the wind. But then vortex generators really help. They really give you a lot of stability under low speeds. Man, what an amazing plane. Absolutely amazing. Oh, man. Man, it's a great flying plane. It don't care much about this wind. It's light, but it's handling the wind no problem. Of course, I do have AS3X Plus running to help. There, walk a dog a little bit. Walking the dog is nothing more than just an extended touch and go. Upward climbing knife edge here. I do want to go in there and move.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
On the control surface I want to move the push rod connection to the innermost hole to get a little more rudder authority. I still haven't done that yet. That's the only two negatives, and they're not really necessarily negative. They're just more personal choices. Is I think it needs more rudder authority, and I think there's a little bit of slop with them springs on the tail wheel, but that's to protect that tail wheel. So that's not really a negative. It's just understanding how it works. Definitely plenty of power for inside and outside loops. Victory rolls. It'll do all the basic aerobatics. Snap rolls, no problem. Alright, do outside. An outside snap roll. That's both sticks all the way at the top on the outer corners, and then a snap roll is both sticks in the inner quarters up top. So
Time remaining 3 minutes.
that poor plane's like, why do you hate me? I'm drunk now. I'm now throwing up all over the sky. But see, you can come out and do something like that, and then come in here, and then just come in here nice and lazy. Nice lazy Sunday afternoon kind of flying, which is kind of cool because it's Sunday afternoon. That works out. Like I said, the plane is just, it's got everything. It goes fast, it goes slow, it's stable, it can go crazy. It looks good, flies good, got a big presence in the air. And like I said, the only drawback that I see that's not is it needs more rudder authority, and there's a little bit of play in the tail wheel. But that's really not negative. That's just the way this plane is. And I can still mechanically get more throw out of that rudder. So, but you gotta remember, this is not a 3D plane, but it sure does some crazy maneuvers.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Well, still got 2 minutes, but I think we're ready to go. I mean, I can stay out here and fly until I can't see, but it's not just me I have to consider. If I was better at slipping, I bet this thing would slip in pretty good. Whoa. Oh, I can't end it like that.
What's slipping?
Slipping is when you come in sideways. It's like a knife edge, but at a downward angle.
For those of us who don't know.
All right, like I'm gonna show you a knife edge. All right, knife edge going up like that. See, I'm going sideways,
Yep.
except you're going down.
Ah.
You're approaching for a landing.
Okay.
I just haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. Which, it should be just the opposite of a knife edge, but in theory. It's windy. Gabriel, if you would, just kind of walk around the plane slowly.
Motor photo is so nice.
It's
Well
turned
done,
off.
thank you.
Just to give the folks, just look how good looking that plane is. I mean, that sucker's gorgeous. And the wind is moving it. All right, you can back at me now. All right, folks. Well, that'll conclude that flight. Let's get a battery report. And like I say, in the man cave, we'll go over everything. But I want to show them how you take this battery in and out. This ingenious battery tray they've got in here. If you'll come over here, I want you to see this. All right. Top loader. Okay. If you look right down in here, see this pin. You push in on that pin, turn it, pull it looks like an anchor, and you unanchor it. Push the tray forward, pull up on the tray, you can grab it by the battery. All right, and see, of course you might want to unplug the battery, but XT90, it has these teeth on here that lock in, and then when you lock it in, then you take this anchor shaped device, and then you put it in there, twist, and you anchor it in. So very, very cool. Very cool. All right, well, I gotta put that tray back in there, but let's check this battery real quick. Don't lose that little, I can see that being one of the commonly lose things, and the people gotta buy them, so keep an eye out. 51%, but that's good enough. I mean, we could go up again, but that is the 3600 Tundra G6S. And that's another battery that Hobby King has sent out with me for review. Two very nice big honking strong battery straps. Okay. And this one had an XT60, and I got an adapter on there to hook up to the plane. All right, you just lower this in there like that. Find them teeth. You kind of feel for them, and then push it back in. Make the EC out, and then you can see the space opens up. It's the same shape as this. Push that down, push down, and turn, and that locks that in. That way you don't have to worry about your battery coming out. All right, well, folks, like I say, I'll meet you back in the man cave. We'll go over all my rates and CG and everything, and one video will cover all the different things about this plane, because I'm not changing my rates. And if I do, I will tell you and show them to you. But other than that, I'll be using the same closing video for all of them. And there you go. That is the Avios Grand Tundra version 2. I never had the version 1, so I can't speak for it. But I'm very, very impressed with this plane. It flies great. It's a lot of fun. It's got something to offer all pilots. I don't care who you are. A beginner could fly this plane. You put a self-leveling gyro or have someone to help you, and you could learn on this plane. The only thing is, it's just she's big, and she runs on a 6S or a big 4S, so a little more pricey, so it depends on the beginner's situation. But it could be your first plane. And all pilots can, from beginner all the way up to the most advanced, perfect pilot ever existed, which is definitely not me, could enjoy this plane. Well, folks, thank you for watching. God bless y'all. Gabriel, thank you for filming. And Hobby King, Avios, y'all got a winner here. You got a real winner here. See y'all later. All right, hey folks, this is Fat Guy Flies RC. Boy, I tell you what, we had a lot of fun flying the Grand Tundra here. Avios Hobby King, this Grand Tundra version 2 is absolutely fabulous. I never flew the first one, but this one here is absolutely, just blows me away. The only concerns I had with it was that I was afraid that the rubber bands configuration wouldn't be strong enough to keep up with the demands of landing and bouncing and everything. Well, they did just fine. And if you do the double wrap them and then fish them back through, like I showed you the unbox and build, and also the tail wheel, the springs are a little loose in my opinion, so she'll ground loop on you, but it's not that bad. It's very, very manageable. And ground looping is very much a situation that you're going to have with a tail dragger like this. But other than that, those really aren't bad things. They're just indicative of this type of a plane. And the rubber band thing is how they're using it, and it worked fine. So it was a concern, but it was fine. Well, anyways, let's go over our rates that I flew in. Did this for all the flights. This video covers everything. Show you my actual rates. Okay. All right. Now the ailerons, high rates, 100% throws with 30% expo. Okay. Elevator, 100%, 30% expo. And rudder, 100%, but with 40% expo. I would like to see a little more rudder authority, and I may go in there and mechanically move the control rod to the innermost hole on the rudder in order to get just a tad bit more throw to help with knife edges and things. My AS3X rates that I flew in, gains were at one-time gains. The AS3X Plus, I got an AR631 installed back here in the radio compartment. Roll, pitch, and yaw, 40, 50, and 60. Priorities, roll, pitch, and yaw, 140. Nothing with heading, nothing with stop lock. I left it at the 35 of roll, pitch, and yaw, and I didn't do anything with the release rate. And gain sensitivity is at one-time gains. Obviously, I don't have a nose wheel gyro working. Flap settings work perfectly. These are the flap settings that I picked, okay, that I made myself, and they work great. 100%, negative 100% for flaps up. For takeoff
flaps.
0% with a 10% down elevator mix. And then for landing, 100% with a 25% down elevator mix with a 2-second deployment. If you watch that elevator,
Takeoff flaps.
You'll see it
Flaps up.
slightly move
Takeoff flaps.
as I go from takeoff
Landing flaps.
down to landing.
Flaps
And those settings seem to work absolutely perfectly. And I picked them. So what I say as far as the 10% down for takeoff and 25% down for landing. CG, and set your timer for 7.5 to 8 minutes. Fly the way you want on a larger, like 4,000 to 5,000 6S that you'll have to move all the way back, and then you can get 8.5 minutes of flying easy, and come back with 20-30% left on your battery, no problem at all. All right, CG throttle cut is on for in here. This big prop cut your hand off. All right, CG on the plane is 75 to 80 millimeters back from the leading edge root, which puts it basically, I got some glue marks there and somewhere, and that puts it still kind of wanting to favor nose heavy, and I've got my fingers right between those two marks. If I put on the other forward 75, she's pretty well level right between the two marks. She wants to kind of favor nose heavy. So really, it says in the description you can put a 5,000 in it, but I think that's a bit much. You're going to lose. It's going to be just too heavy, too piggish, but you're going to have 8 minutes of flying. So it's entirely up to you. But this big of a plane can definitely handle the heavier weight. But in order to get that CG, like I just showed you, you got to put it in the battery tray, which is a really cool mechanism, by the way, and push it all the way back. And so if you're going to go with a 4,000 or a 4S setup, then you'll have to buy the additional prop, the optional prop, which is a little bit longer of a prop. And you'll pull the battery a little further forward. Now that brings me to an interesting point about this battery tray. It's a simple push button design. As you push down on this button, pull out this, which is fortuitous, an anchor shaped plug, okay, and then you pull your battery, the whole battery tray forward, and then unplug it. XT90 connector. This is the bolt. This is what I did all my testing with, or most of them. This is their bolt battery that they sent me. It doesn't come with your plane, but it sent me to test. And this is a 4.5 6S, and I've got it all the way back. Okay. But the interesting thing about this tray is on the tray, on the tway, got my Velcro all re-wad here. You've got these marks, which is a nice touch, okay? And just so happens, you see that between that 4 and that 5? Well, 4,500 is where I made that mark, and it goes back perfectly, and that's where that CG perfect for this plane. And so, therefore, if you were having a, say, a 4004S, you could put it here, check your CG, and then make a little hash mark, and you could remember where it goes. So that's a nice little touch that you're not going to see in the advertisement of the plane. It's just something you discover whenever you get it, and put that all the way back like that. Now, don't lose this little anchor, because it actually looks like an anchor. You plug it in, twist it, you press down on it, let spring, press, twist, and you anchor it down. So, kind of fortuitous that looks like an anchor. An angry anchor. Well, this battery tray, you just put it down those little teeth grooves, get it in position. Kind of have to play with it sometimes because you can't see back there. Of course, now I'm on camera. Okay, there it goes. Push it down, take your anchor, push the anchor in down, press and turn. Grab your XT90 connector. Oh, and these are the low, on the battery here is a low spark style. Comes with that battery. So, there you go. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. On the 6S battery, I can't speak for it on the 4S because I didn't try it on 4S. But on 6S, this thing has a much better than a 1-for-1 thrust ratio. Vertical, it'll get out of your sight before it gives out on power. It just keeps going and going and going. And landing, you put this thing into the wind and you put them flaps down, you can bring this thing and let it set down like a feather, as you'll see in the videos. And there are, and now if you come down on a hard surface, you can get a little bit of bounce, but this gear, it more than handles, and that's with the battery in it. It more than handles it. And folks, I want to tell you something. This thing is an absolute blast to fly. It is so much fun. Like I said, just be aware that these rubber bands, you got to put them around there twice and double wrap them. And you may ground loop if you're not careful because of the nature of a tail dragger. But those really aren't drawbacks. It's just stuff that you need to be aware of. The lights look good. Now the plane does come, as I explained in the unboxing build, it comes with a light controller. Okay, and you have thrust reversing. So if you want to control, and it's just these front lights here, you can turn these on with a switch, and thrust reversing you can put on a switch. So that means technically you would need 7 channels to get everything, all the functionality out of this plane. I chose to wire all the lights together and put them in my bind port because they only need power, they don't need signal. And I put my thrust reversing signal, which is that little yellow pigtail that comes off the throttle cable, and I put that in my channel 5, which is my normal gear channel, and I put it on my interrupter switch or my bind switch. That way, when I press down, braking, I release normal forward thrust. So just be aware of that. That's something else that you don't see it until you get it, and you realize, oh, how come the lights aren't working? Well, you got to plug these in and put them on a switch. So what you could do is mix them to come on, if you're going to use them that way, mix these lights to come on when you put your landing flap in, which would be kind of cool. So, alrighty, well folks, thank you so much for watching. This is the Avios Grand Tundra Hobby King Avios. Y'all have got a real winner here. This thing is absolutely fab. This green, and that's the other thing, this green is high vis. Man, you can see this like a mile away. It's so bright, it's almost neon bright. Actually, it is neon bright. And so visibility is not a problem at all. Not at all. So there you go. I can't come up with anything bad to say about the plane. I have no idea how much it's going to cost because I've done these videos before the release. And it's got the ability to do a tow cable. You put your receiver back here. Just a beautiful plane. Flies great. It flies as good as it looks, and it looks awesome. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. This is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Man Cave Studios, and this is the all-new Avios Grand Tundra 2. And it is a beast. A wonderful, wonderful, fun to fly beast. See y'all later.